advice. So now, if we have any Q&A, again, you guys hopefully you've been using the Slido tool where you can post questions. If you haven't already, take your phone out if you have any, and you can really quickly type it in. It's anonymous, but of course we do like to know who you are, so you can put your name in if you want. So we have one question, pretty boring presentation, sorry guys. Besides infographics, what are some other ways your clients use Slido to boost their digital presence? So that's a good question, and when it comes to technology, which I know a few people are going to be touching on, it is kind of a hot topic for the most part. So we have lots of people that use it, obviously, before, during, and after the event, before to run some polls where they send it to the audience maybe, and they actually ask, again, what I asked at the beginning, what are you guys coming for? What are you looking for? To start getting people involved and thinking about the event beforehand and engaging them. And also, then, besides the infographics, it's really so that you guys have a more memorable takeaway. So, lots of times we do have the privilege of people mentioning us, in their blogs or just writing about us. But it's something that is really, for the most part, here for the event, and that's why I'm glad, I was able to go first and hopefully get you guys to use this. But yeah, that's just one thing that we work with that you can contrast with infographics. But there's lots of tools we're going to discuss throughout the event. So connection is key, but how do you recommend making it relevant and contextual? That's a really good question. So when it comes to your solutions and your products, that's the thing that you should be the expert on, hopefully. So you already know kind of the realm you're working in. But when it comes to actually making, let's say, something that you're going to share that's content which is going to be viable and understandable for people, it's really that shareable feature as well, where you should be able to make it something that they're, for example, we always like to do our blogs where we set like 10 lessons you can learn, or 5 lessons you can learn. Something that's they can actually put into practice immediately. So it's not just content that they're like, okay, that's knowledgeable, but something that they can really either share if that's their goal, or something that they can start implementing into their daily lives. And we see lots of success with this on LinkedIn. I think there was a stat that said if you do 8 points and use 30 pictures within those, that you get a more better success ratio. But it's making something that they can relate with and instantly use, not something that they can kind of write down like in school and keep in the memory. Can Slido be used to act as a focus group for a marketing concept? For example, gauging the success of a video posted online. Genji, sorry, that's a good question, and I don't think we've really had it used in that way, but it's always great to see the use cases that we get. So, it is something that can be relevant because we use Slido as well at a lot of hybrid events where people don't have to necessarily be in the room, but it's actually, again, about engaging people where they can start posting questions, even from virtual locations. So, for something like that, the benefit of Slido is it's going to be the anonymous feature as well, so that if you did want to gauge some things, it's going to be an honest, feedback from members of your team, and that's something where we ask people in companies or corporation users, do you know what your employees think? Most of the time, the answer is not really. We think we know, and hopefully you want to know. But if you have a tool like Slido where you can have that anonymous feature, where you can ask what you guys think about the strategy, or do you think we're going in the right direction? It's good to get that honest feedback, and having anonymity is really helpful in that sense when it comes to using Slido. Are likes the only currency for a successful presentation? You're talking in general for using Slido. Who asked that question? We don't have a name. No? Can someone elaborate just a little more? Okay, we'll keep it anonymous. No. So for a presentation, it's really not, I think, only about the instant gratification of the like or seeing it shared, but obviously it's about, again, what Leo said, doing what you can with what you have where you are, and we're all in different places. Some of us are in the same place, but there's some information that we're going to hear from presentations throughout the days that might be relevant to what we're working with right now, but just because it's not at the time being, and it doesn't get shared, doesn't get liked immediately, obviously doesn't mean that it's beneficial for you in the future. So I think presentations content is always key as well in your digital strategy. Still, content is really important. And for presentations, there should be takeaways that people don't have an instant, gratification of liking or sharing, but they can at least have that in their memory banks, and it will be useful in the near future. I don't know where we are on time. We're good for maybe one more? Yeah? Yeah? One more? Okay. So can Slido be used to engage a broad online audience during a live cast? Yeah, definitely. This is something that we've seen a big kind of increase in within the past year or so, is what we call hybrid events. So for example, there's a few hundred of us maybe in the room now, but you can see people on a webcast from other countries that are obviously interested in the same content, but might not be able to fly over or be here. So that's a great benefit, which technology has aided us in for quite a while, being able to view events or have webcasts, but it still limits that, engagement. And most of the time, if I'm doing a webcast, I have YouTube open in the other browser because, I can't really, I'm just listening. So Slido is a great tool to keep people engaged here. You guys, I'm glad to see you're using it and posting questions, but also at these hybrid events, people can be part of the event, and their name can be on the board. And it's really great when you have these large events and you see, all these questions coming from, a whole other part of the world where they feel like they're part of it. And also, it kind of changes that dynamic for you guys here as well. Now, we don't have it for this event, but we can see that everyone's doing a great job already. So that's going to be it for me now. The only last thing I'll say is, if you haven't already, definitely share your selfies. And throughout the event, if you guys have any other questions or Slido's, something that you'd be interested in, feel free to approach me. My colleague and our CEO, Peter, is in the back as well. So looking to see you guys make most of this opportunity in this event, and hopefully everyone has a great time.
What a great way of taking a traditional engagement experience and bringing it into a digital era. And I'm so excited to now tee up the next speaker who has really had to do that in an industry that needed a completely new way of thinking about engaging its audience. Mark Franz is the CIO of the New York Times. Before coming to the Times,